Oh, good everyone. I am Paul. So we are welcome back to another session of my video lesson or tutorials. So I've been talking about the Pentateuch with emphasis on Genesis. So in our previous lessons, I've been able to talk about the meaning of Pentateuch. And the recent one I spoke about was the tradition mosaic authorship of the Pentateuch. So where we were able to answer the question of whether Moses was the one that wrote was it Moses that wrote the whole Pentateuch? So that was the question I was able to answer by using different. I shouldn't say I was able to answer. I was the one that answered it, but we're able to actually see what different theories as propounded by different scholars, to what different theories says about the authorship of the Pentateuch. So we're able to talk about the documentary hypothesis that was proposed by Julius Wahusing, the JDP hypothesis. We're also able to talk about the supplementary hypothesis and the fragmentary hypothesis. So without wasting our time, so I'll be moving on to the next session of this particular course. So I'll be talking about the critical introduction to Genesis rather. Critical introduction to Genesis. Critical introduction to Genesis. So what are the things I'll be talking about in this particular topic? I'll be talking about the title of the book. I'll talk about the background of the book, the dates, the literary and features and themes, message and theology, the role of Genesis in redemptive history, and the global message of Genesis. So I trust God to help in covering all these aspects in a very short video. So basically, I'll make sure that I talk about the important aspects of these contents. So as we all know that Genesis is the first book of the Pentateuch. Genesis is the first book of the Pentateuch. So now I'll be talking about the title of Genesis. Title of Genesis. So what is the title of this book? Originally in the Hebrew Bible, so there was no title in this book. It was just given. The book was categorized according to the first phrase of the chapter, which says in the beginning. So now this chapter, the title Genesis was now taken from the Septuagint. So the Septuagint was the Greek translation of the Hebrew of the Old Testament, because Old Testament was originally written in Hebrew. So the Greek version of it is called the Septuagint. So now from this Septuagint, they derived the title Genesis. So Genesis which is called Bereshit. So Bereshit, according to that is Genesis 2:4 and Genesis 1:1, in the beginning. So, and this Bereshit means in the beginning, in the beginning. So, and like I said before, this phrase was the first. It is the first phrase of the book of Genesis, in the beginning. So that book is titled In the Beginning. So likewise, Exodus in the original Hebrew text, there is no title. So they only categorize the book by its first line or sentence or statement. So the same may be applicable to this, but this title was given to this book according to the Greek translation of it. So which means Bereshit, which means in the beginning. So, and when we talk about the book of Genesis, it gives us the accounts of the beginning of the universe, family, sin, and so on and so forth. So we can call this book a book of origin, the book of origin, because it is through this book, we're able to get to know about the origin of this universe. So that is why the book is titled In the Beginning, and the whole book covers the beginning of everything, beginning of universe, family, beginning of sin, everything. So it's basically lays a kind of foundation for the rest of the Bible. So that is that about the title Genesis. So in the next video, I will talk about the background of Genesis. Thank you, and don't forget to subscribe.